I hate to break this to you, but money isn't actually made of paper, which also proves that money doesn't actually grow on trees. Most banknotes are 25% linen and 75% cotton, which is why they have such a distinct look and feel. Back in the 19th century, money was made of parchment paper. That's why people could easily counterfeit it, unlike now. How can you get your cat to work off the money you spend on its food? Let it clean the room while you're away. Japanese engineers came up with cat duster slippers. The cat walks on the floor and rids your home of dust at the same time. But I'm not sure your pet will like the idea. Bananas contain potassium, and this element is slightly radioactive. On the bright side, you need to eat 10 million bananas before radiation can negatively affect you. How about a butter applicator in the form of a glue stick? With this invention, making sandwiches in the morning will become so much easier. The main challenge is to not confuse it with a real glue stick. Bacon lip balm is a great addition to those butter sticks. This product is already being sold online. Imagine rubbing your lips with a piece of fried bacon before going out. Not really my thing, but you do you. The image of a happy girl in the Wendy's logo was inspired by the daughter of the fast food chain's creator, Dave Thomas. Wendy is her nickname. If you look closer, you'll notice her collar spells out the word mom. Whether intentional or not, it became something to mean a homely feel the restaurant gives its guests. Just like a chicken egg, an ostrich egg will contain a chick embryo only if the egg was first fertilized by a male ostrich. Otherwise, you'll only find whites and a huge yolk inside of it. The size of the yolk is equal to around 24 chicken yolks, so one ostrich egg can easily feed a squad of 10 people. But ostrich eggs aren't all that edible. Those who tried them say that they taste a lot like chicken eggs, fatty, buttery, and kind of sweet. But the flavor is more intense. They're also richer in magnesium and iron than chicken eggs, but contain fewer vitamins A and E. One ostrich egg will give you about 2,000 calories, while the average chicken egg only contains 75 calories. Cooking and eating them is a chore, so you'll unlikely have them for breakfast every day. Their shell is extremely thick. You can step on eggs with both of your feet and they won't break. That's why if you want to cook an omelet using an ostrich egg, you're gonna need a drill or a hammer, and also a really big skillet to fit an egg of that size. No, bigger. Yeah, like that. Boiling the egg will take almost 90 minutes. Sound travels almost 4 times faster underwater than it does in the air. That's why divers often have problems with figuring out the direction of sound. Disneyland's Airspace has the protection level of the White House and the Kennedy Space Center. It's prohibited to fly over the theme park without a special waiver. The restriction was introduced in 2003 for security reasons. So now you will never see a plane or even a single drone flying over the park. Not so long ago, scientists decided that dinos' family trees had to be redrawn for the first time in 130 years. Apparently, 2 species of dinosaurs had to be grouped together from the very beginning. Those were the lizard-hipped meat-eaters like T-Rex and bird-hipped vegetarians such as the Stegosaurus. People are still evolving. Scientists have been tracking several millions of human anomalies. It turns out some harmful genes are slowly but surely getting filtered out of human DNA. Sure, if you were about to go to space, one of the first things you would think of would be your spacesuit. But did you know that it's possible to survive in space even if you aren't wearing any protection? Well, don't get your hopes up yet. You'd last for no more than 15 seconds. That's how long it would take you to lose consciousness because oxygen will stop coming to your brain. The first Apple logo was designed in 1976 and featured Sir Isaac Newton sitting under a tree, with an apple about to fall on his head. It seemed too complex and unclear to many, so Steve Jobs wanted it replaced. 9:41, set as the time in iPhone's ads, isn't a random choice of numbers. In 2007, Steve Jobs first introduced the iPhone to the public after a 41-minute presentation at exactly 9:41 a.m. The Eiffel Tower is almost 6 inches taller during the summer. When you heat up some substance, its particles start to move more actively and take up a bigger volume. That's something they call thermal expansion. When the temperature lowers, the substance contracts again. Such an effect is more prominent in gases, but you can also track it in liquids and solids, including iron. Hugs are very beneficial to health. They relieve stress and help your body produce endorphins, the hormone of happiness. If you make a snowball and try to set it on fire using your lighter, the thing won't melt. The snow will first turn black. Then it'll start to vanish, but you'll get no water. There's nothing supernatural about this phenomenon. The snow is melting, but you don't see it because the structure of the snowflakes. They kind of wick away the melted water, and it gets absorbed by the remaining relatively loose-packed snowball. Our moon used to have an atmosphere. Several volcanic eruptions happened on Earth's natural satellite around 4 billion years ago. They released immense volumes of gas, trillions of tons. It was so much that the gas didn't have enough time to escape into space. That's how an atmosphere was formed. Meanwhile, out in space, shadows are darker on the moon than on our planet. That's because the atmosphere on Earth scatters more sunlight. But if you could visit the moon, you'd observe shadows so dark you wouldn't be able to see where you were going. Also, you'd notice fresh footprints on the lunar surface. People haven't set foot there in a few decades, but the footprints look as if they were left just yesterday. Since there's no water or wind on the moon, nothing can erase these footprints, so they can stay there in their original form for millions of years. The ocean performs many functions. For one thing, it produces 50 to 80% of all the oxygen on our planet, which means it keeps us alive. But it also helps the internet to function. So when you're laughing at a funny dog video or binge watching your favorite series, yep, thank the ocean for that. Bananas are delicious and convenient. Thanks to their dense skin, they won't break when you carry them with you. But for some people, this natural protection doesn't seem to be enough. They don't like brownish marks on the yellow peel, especially for them, one of the main inventions of the 21st century. This is a banana suitcase. The container will protect your banana from the dangers following it everywhere. Some people have a fear of technology, aka technophobia. Now, it mostly has to do with complex new devices like computers. But it has its roots back in the time of the Industrial Revolution. It began in the 18th century when workers were afraid new machines would take their jobs. The founders of Domino's were originally planning to add a dot to the Domino's in the logo for every new place they opened. But it was growing way too fast and too big for that. So, they decided to keep just 3 dots for the 3 original locations.